Alright, hey, we're here today with a review of the Ruger LCP 380. I've had this gun for a couple years now. I use it a lot in the summer for concealed carry when, weather's nice, I'm wearing shorts, stuff like that. I've been doing some shooting with it and kind of wanted to kick a review out. So we're going to start with what the manufacturer says about the gun, kind of the manufacturer specs. Per Ruger's website, it's slide and barrel made out of alloy steel. Barrel length is 2.75 inches. Width is 0.82 inches. And the weight is 9.6 pounds. This one has the optional Laser Max sight on it. You can get Crimson Trace or a bunch of other stuff. We'll talk about that later. Overall length is 5.16 inches and height is 3.6 inches. So that's kind of just the basic manufacturer's specs on it. Size and weight for a gun of this type is good. It's not too heavy. It's not going to weigh down your belt or anything. It's light. It's a small gun. Bottom of the frame here is polymer, so it keeps it down there. The laser sight does add a little bit of weight, but it's not a crazy amount. As far as ergonomics go, it's a very small gun. For me personally, with my hands, I mean, it's too small really for me, but that's kind of the point. So as you can see, with no magazine in, I'm pretty much holding it with a finger and a thumb. The other two are kind of wrapped below. So if you've got big hands, I'm 5'11", so I'm kind of average-ish height and hand size. You're really going to have to work to get a good purchase on it when you're shooting. Now you can get magazines with an extender here, which does help out a little bit. Gives you a solid 2 fingers and a thumb on there. You're still going to tuck your pinky down below and really have to wrap your other hand on. But like I said, it is better than just a flat fitting magazine. Other than that, everything, because the gun is so small, is very easy to reach. Your magazine release right there, and your slide release is right there. So if you have someone in your family who has smaller hands, wife, daughter, whatever, this is probably a pretty good option for them, because it is so little that even if they have stumpy little hands, they can reach around there and get all the controls and manipulate it the way they should. But if you're like me and you got bigger hands, it's just going to take some practice to really be able to shoot it well and control it. It's helpful that the round doesn't have that much recoil, because you only got a couple fingers on there to really control what it's doing. The trigger pull is long and arduous. I don't have a scale or anything, and this has been safety checked, but the trigger pull is, as you can see, very long. It's not especially creepy, but it is long and it is heavy. Like I said, I don't have a trigger, but that's probably pushing about 8 pounds. Which, I mean, it's not a target gun. It's not designed for that. As you can see, the gun doesn't have a safety. There's no manual type safety or integral safety like a Glock or an XD. So basically that long trigger pull is more or less your safety, which is why it's designed that way. That's just how it is. If it had a hair trigger, you'd be blowing holes in your pants and everything. So there's no safety on the gun, and that's why the trigger pull is so long. You just got to deal with it. A lot of the compact 380s are that way, and it's just a fact of life. Practice with it, and it's not too terrible big of a deal. I'll throw some footage in. I mean, even with that crap trigger, I was still hitting 6-8 inch steel circles at ranges that would be comfortable for this gun. 15 meters. I think the farthest one was like 20 meters, and that was a bit of a struggle. We'll get into the sights here in a little bit. Durability. Right now the gun is probably at about 200 rounds and change, and I've carried it off and on. So I mean, the finish is holding up relatively well. There's no real marks. The only real outside marks you can see on the finish are right there on the top of the barrel. You can see where it's just starting to rub off a little bit from shooting, but I mean, that's to be expected. That's nothing too big. All the internals I'm not going to take apart on camera here because it is a little harder to take apart than a full size, but as far as durability, it's holding up very well. Have no problems with corrosion, no premature wear issues, finish is good. It's a well-built gun. I mean, the fact that half of it is polymer is really going to help with a lot of your corrosion, but it is a well-built gun. It's a quality gun. Reliability was okay. It was there. Out of the 200 rounds I shot, and pretty much what I do is I lubricate the gun when I start, and then for the period that I'm testing it, I don't clean it or lubricate it. So this gun was shot for 200 rounds without being cleaned or lubricated, and it had one failure to extract that was on brass case. I can't remember the brand. It was a bulk ammo brand, but it wasn't steel case or anything like that. So one failure to extract. Everything else in that was good, and that was a simple rack the slide. It extracted it, and we went about our day. So not a catastrophic malfunction or anything like that, but it did happen, so it's worth talking about. It looked like the extractor just slipped off the case, to be honest with you. So that might be an issue with the extractor spring getting a little dirty. Who knows? I continued shooting, didn't have any other problems with it whatsoever. I've put a bunch of different kinds of ammunition through it. Everything from the bulk stuff I was talking about, to Federal, to the critical defense here that you see, to a company called RBS, which is basically remanufacturing ammunition in my local area. And their stuff has some quality control issues sometimes, and it shot it fine. So the gun is reliable. You know, just keep it clean, which you should be doing anyways. But keep it clean, and it will be fine. The sights on it. So this one, like I said, has the optional Laser Max grip, which, to be honest with you, I would just save your money, not buy it. I was pretty excited about it when I got it, and kind of got it honed in and working. I just never really have used it to shoot the gun in practice, and don't really see a great need for it. And this little button here is super easy to actuate by accident, so the battery's actually dead right now because it got actuated by accident and set on forever. So honestly, I would just save your money and save yourself a little bit of the weight and just not do it. The standard sights on here are nothing to really write home about. You've pretty much got, you know, a basic fixed notch in the back and a post on the front. Nothing really on there for contrast. You could probably paint them if you want. They are fixed on part of the gun. You're not getting rid of them. You're not swapping them. They are there to stay. I mean, like I said, they're not great. They're definitely not night sights. They're not anything like that. But from my shooting, they're on. They're dead on. They hit. So from the factory, it's going to come sighted in for those sights. And the gun isn't made to shoot a long distance. You know, 15 yards is probably the max that this gun was designed to shoot for. It's got a 2 3/4 inch barrel and a very short sight radius. So don't expect that you're going to be making any long shots with the thing, and I personally wouldn't even try it. So takedown is going to be, and I'm not going to take it apart on camera here because it's a little arduous, but it's different than most of your full-size pistols in that there's no lever or real button that you push. You're going to be kind of prying this, getting the slide in the correct spot and kind of prying this little pin out here, and that's going to be your takedown. Then the pin will come out and the slide will come off and you'll do your thing. So takedown's a little less convenient than a full-size pistol, but it's pretty much on par with other pistols of this size and type. Like the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard is more or less the same. Capacity. So your capacity on this is pretty much going to be 6+1. This is standard Ruger 6-round magazine that comes in it with a little extender on it. I'm not sure if you can get a higher capacity one or not, but this is what comes with it, and these are available pretty readily in the aftermarket. So if you want more rounds, just carry a couple more magazines. like I said, the gun's primary purpose is to be small and compact. So capacity was sacrificed a little bit to that cause. The caliber, so this is in 380. Ruger makes a 9mm version. It's a little bigger. I like the 380 for this purpose. You know, for the kind of extremely concealable small pistol, I think it's great. Is it, you know, my first choice of a go-to self-defense round? Absolutely not. You know, I would say it is barely adequate for that role. Make sure you get good ammunition like the Hornady stuff here, and you'll be alright. But, you know, when you're going to get a gun this small, you're going to make compromises in accuracy and capacity and caliber. Because honestly, I'd rather have this gun than no gun. So you're willing to make those compromises. Accessories, there is a good amount of accessories for these on the aftermarket. This isn't a gun that you're going to accessorize and customize a lot. I mean, you could refinish it if you wanted. But like I said, you know, you're not going to swap the sights out. You know, you could probably do some trigger work on it if you really wanted to. You know, but for the most part, this isn't going to be a heavily modified gun. You know, you can get Crimson Trace makes a laser grip kind of similar to this, something like that. There's a good amount of holsters out there. This is a DeSantis, just tuck in the waistband type holster. Works great. Never had a problem with the gun coming out, coming loose, anything like that. So there's a wide range of holsters available for it. Just pick what works for you and go with that. You know, my final kind of thoughts on the gun, like I said, when you get into a gun this small, you're going to make compromises in accuracy, caliber, and capacity. That's just the way it is. You're not going to get a gun this size and this light that is doing the same thing as a full-size, you know, Glock 22 or something like that. So just realize what it is and what it's for, which is being extremely concealable and making sure that you have a gun on you instead of no gun, you know, and just kind of realize that that's what the trade-off is for, and you'll be happy with it. If you buy it expecting it to do everything that a full-size gun does, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to want to sell it. But go into it realizing what it's made for and what it's designed for, and I think this will be a great buy for you.